Hello, everybody. This is perfect date. Now, to my understanding, this is a cat dating simulator. So if you've ever seen Hoonie Pop, Hoonie Cam, pretty much any other dating game, Dream Daddy, whatever, that is what this is. I found it on Steam, and I was really curious about it. Because I'm trash. So, yeah. Let's get into it. Alright. Oh, I'm an angel and I accept. I like the disco cat. I'm not sure how long we've been sailing, but it feels like forever. I'm not feeling too well now, so it's a huge relief to hear the deck lad shout. Island approach, make yourself ready. Thanks, Joe. I'm finally here. When I applied last month, I was just another broke student living off of baked beans and didn't really think I had a chance of being accepted to be part of the prestigious Cat Island research team. Yet here it is, the little black dot in the distance, growing bigger by the second, is the infamous Cat Island, the place I will call home for the next few months. My heart momentarily skips a beat. What if there's been a mistake? What if they accepted someone else's application and accidentally sent the offer to me? I rummage about in my bag until I find the papers. Dear Breckless. Oh. Dear Breckless, we are pleased to be able to offer you the position of research assistant to Professor Popper at our research facility on Cat Island. The position will be for an initial period of 8 weeks. Your contract will be sent separately. We look forward to working with you. Yours sincerely, Professor Popper, PhD, BSc, Hons, DPG. You know who I sounded like when I just did that voice? I love you, Khaleesi. That guy from Game of Thrones. No mistake. That's my name right there in the top left-hand corner. Breckless. And that there's his name at the bottom, the genius behind the whole operation. Professor Popper, science genius, and my new boss. I look up from my papers to see dry land rapidly approaching before us. It seems to be surrounded by a huge barrier of impenetrable black rocks. Is this Skull Island? As we get closer, we're not slowing down, and I begin to worry that we're going to crash into them. Then, at the very last moment, we take a sharp turn to the left, and suddenly we're sailing smoothly towards a jetty through an opening in the rocks. I blow out the breath that I've been holding and break into a smile. Is that what we're... Nicely done, Skipper! Why would he say that? The ferryman comes out from behind the steering wheel, ignoring my attempts at camaraderie, I can't read, and shouts rather brusquely. Take all your belongings, we won't... I want to try to do voices. Take all your belongings, we won't be back for days, so don't leave nothing you'll need. I guess that's the voice, I don't know. Thank you. I smile weakly at the ferryman and his son and pick up my bags, ready to disembark. We glide seamlessly up to the wooden jetty, and the son leaps ashore to tie us off. He's greeted by a bulky man in a uniform who I take to be security officer of some kind. Joe? Joe? Sir, caught you a mouse. And then he laughs loudly, as though he said the funniest thing he's ever heard. It's very disconcerting. The security guard remains surly and turns his attention to me. Let's be having you, then. He holds out his large hand, which I assume is an offer to help me off the boat, but as I reach out to take it, he snatches it away, throwing me off balance so that I almost fall over the side. What a great start. ID card. Oh, I see. Of course. I reach into my back pocket and hand over the laminated card I was given on the mainland. Cat Island Security. Name, Breckless. Date issued 1117. Meow. I love the cat meows. He barely looks at it before striding off, grunting over his shoulder. This way. He's kind of a dick. I follow him down a dirt track path and get my first proper view of the island. It's beautiful, lush, and green. I'm already under its spell. After no more than a couple of minutes trekking, we're in base camp, which consists of an assortment of tents and huts. Among them are two more solid-looking structures, one larger and one smaller. I presume these are the labs. The whole camp is moderate but functional. It reminds me of an army outpost. Kind of looks like one. I'm struck by the lack of people. In fact, there's no one around apart from an older woman sitting outside peeling a pile of potatoes. I smile and give her a little nod, but she just stares back at me. It's kind of rude. The people here are rude. She looks rude. I tried not to get paranoid. Here. He stopped at the largest of the tents, indicating that I should go inside. I feel rude just walking in, so I make my presence known first. Ahem. Hello? A firm but friendly voice calls out. Come. Well, I mean, if you insist. I walk in and there he is, hunched over some documents. The great Professor Pauper. You know, he looks like he would be British, too. Sir, it's an honor to meet you. Yes, you must be Breckless. Come on in, my dear. Glad to have you on board. Good journey. There we go, that's the voice for him. Well, long. Yes, indeed, we're rather tucked away here. Let me offer you some refreshment. Water, coffee, something stronger, perhaps whiskey? I would be rude to let you drink whiskey on your own. I'd love a cup of tea if there's pot on the go. I'm gonna have some whiskey with this gentleman. Well, if you're having one, it would be rude to let you drink whiskey on your own. Jolly good, I can tell you and I are going to get along famously. He takes a swig from the bottle and passes it to me. I try not to show my self-consciousness and there's some big-ass words in here. Surreptitiously wipe the neck with my sleeve before taking a modest sip. I don't say big words, man. I'm kind of dumb. It'll take you a while to find your own way around and discover how it all works. So for today, I thought I would just get you kitted out and maybe introduce you to some of the locals, the cats, that is. I believe you've already met most of the human locals. Oh, I've only met the ferryman and the security guard who brought me here. Yes, that's about it. Okay. And the lady outside? Ah, Mrs. Marigold. Her and her husband are the caretakers. Wonderful couple, the Marigolds. You'll meet them before too long. We're a tidy little family here, Breckless, and I'm sure you'll fit in nicely. Thank you, sir. I certainly hope so. Okay, so first things first. This is your basic kit. He begins going through a pile of things on his desk, explaining each of them in turn. This is your backpack. You can put everything in it. We'll be going on plenty of field trips, so it'll be very useful. As will your own water bottle. Some disinfectant hand spray. Ah, these are heavy-duty reinforced gloves, which are essential when tagging cats out in the wild. Don't want any scratches from felines we don't know, now do we? I suppose not. I shove each item into my new backpack as he gives them to me. Likewise, these goggles are to be brought along on all field trips. This lot here. He indicates to a small pile of what looks like laundry. Is basic uniform, lab coats, masks, stethoscope, etc. portable first aid kit, camping knife with all tool attachments. Finally, and without doubt, most importantly, this. He holds up something that looks a lot like a Pokédex. Like a mobile phone, except it clearly isn't one. This is your catalog. Oh, I see what they did there. Catalog? Yes, the name comes from its earliest version. It was initially designed to record and store data on the cats, scan them, and log their details. But as you see, we've come a long way since then. Now you can use it to communicate with the rest of our team. I've added everyone's contact details for you, listen to music, take photos. There's even a pen that comes with it to insert microchips into the back of the cats' necks so that we can keep track of them. It is a very valuable piece of equipment, Breckless, and I need you to protect it above all else. Do you understand? He is looking me directly in the eye and clearly expects a response. Yes, sir, of course I will look after it. Good! You'll get to know all the functions as you go along, but for now, I suggest we take a stroll out and see if we can find a few friends to introduce you to so that you can try it out. He hands me the gadget. I feel a bit nervous taking charge of it, but also really keen to have a go. I like the music. This is weird, though. We head down to the beach, the professor explaining things as we go. It's a lot of dialogue. The mixture of terrain on Cat Island is quite unique. Even in such a relatively small area, you'll find forests, mountains, jungle, beaches, woodland, all of these different geological and ecological zones in one place. It really is most remarkable. It certainly is. Even the lack of wildlife is, in itself, quite remarkable. What do you mean, Professor? Well, put simply, there is a type of force field that surrounds the island, disallowing anything to enter. You mean literally anything? Absolutely. No birds and fish, creatures of any kind can penetrate it. Forgive my lack of intelligence on this subject, but, we're here. The professor lets out a disconcertingly loud laugh. Ah, I see what you mean. Well, there is, of course, one small break in this invisible wall, and that is where we built the jetty. But let's not get too bogged down in all this right now. What you do need to know is that basically the island is shaped like a peanut. He has picked up a nearby stick and draws a simple map in the sand. This, our end of the island, is very well known to us now. We've been researching here for many years. The other end is not so familiar to us. We have encountered difficulties that have hindered our progress in the region. She is here. What? What was that? Are we gonna pretend like that didn't just happen? What is... Is this like another Doki Doki? What type of difficulties, Professor? Well, we're not as sure as we'd like to be, but what I can tell you is that the environment has an adverse effect upon humans, inducing nausea at the very least. And at the worst? Fainting, migraines, possible nerve damage. Ooh, okay, just the basics. Gosh, that is serious. As I say, it's best to keep away, but let's not go into all that now, my dear. You've had a long day for now. Let's just say that we refer to the far end of the island as the danger zone with good reason. Danger zone? I must ask you not to put yourself at risk by venturing beyond this mountain range here. He refers... I was going to do the voice again. There's just so much dialogue. He refers to the map once more, drawing a line just past the center of it, and an X through the end section. Ah, fuck. There are wild, aggressive cats out there. I wouldn't want you getting too close to them. Unlike our lovely fellows closer to home. He has led me to a spot where a few cats are lounging about. What do you say we try out our catalogue now, Breckless? He stoops down and picks up one of the animals, a disgruntled-looking cat who is sleeping under the shade of a palm tree. Jesus fucking Christ. He's scary looking. The cat lets out a displeased mew, but doesn't struggle. Its large body, billowing with long orange fur, just sort of hangs in the professor's arms in a lazy resignation. Would you like to have a go at scanning this delightful chap? I think this guy is actually British. I find the on switch and somewhat timidly activate it. The gadget immediately comes to artificial life, emitting a boop 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 sound with a red pulsating light. I select the app labeled Cat Scan, and it loads instantly. There's no delay on this thing. The professor holds the cat towards me with arms outstretched. I'm sure he said the scanning chip is implanted into the back of their neck somewhere, but it's difficult to find this one's neck amidst the thick cloud of fur. I blow to make a parting and press the catalog to his skin. It's a bit like scanning groceries in the supermarket where I used to work. Hey, me too. I used to work in a supermarket. That should do it. And he plops the Marmalade Tom back into the shade. Marmalade Tom. Sure enough, upon withdrawal, I find the cat has been successfully scanned. Meow. Meow. Floofy butt. Floofy butt. Floofy butt. Name, Floofy butt. Gender, male. Age, 10 years, 4 months. Breed, red tabby. Persian. Eye color, red. Wow, amazing! Clever, isn't it? A large part of your job here will be to tag and scan the cats, such as Mr. Floofy Butt here, but it looks like you'll have no problems at all in that area. Excellent work, Breckless. Holy crap, I didn't expect there to be this much talking. Sorry, I had to get a drink. I was about to, die. Thank you, sir. I can't wait to get started. Well, why don't we get a bit more practice with the catalogue and scan the rest of them while we're here? These 5 spend a lot of time together. They're like a little family, aren't you? Oh, yes, you are. The professor seems to be a genuine cat lover like me. I think we're going to get on great. Okay, here goes. No help this time. The professor steps back. The first cat I approach is very friendly with beautiful calico markings. It comes towards me, already purring. I like that one. Meow. Trixie. Name, Trixie. Gender, female. Age, 3 years, 8 months. Breed, calico American Shorthair. Eye color, green. Next is an elegant, sleek, hairless cat sitting gracefully in the sun. She doesn't pay me much attention and allows me to scan her with minimal fuss. Is it a Sphinx? It is. I want one so bad. Snooty Booty. Name, Snooty Booty. Gender, female. Age, 11 years, 1 month. Breed, Sphinx. Eye color, blue. 11 years is pretty old for a cat. The fourth cat I approach is a noisy one. Meow, 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 meow. Mick Murphy. Name, Mick Murphy. Gender, male. Age, 6 years. Breed, brown. Crossbreed. Eye color, green. They look black to me, but okay. And finally, the one I've been deliberately put off until last. He's been skulking around the edges of the activity, eyeing me suspiciously as though he could pounce at any moment. I laugh at myself, already projecting personalities onto these animals. It's like the same mouth. Kibbles. Name, Kibbles. Gender, male. Age, 3 years. Breed, white British long hair. Eye color, green. Are all of their eyes green? All done. I hope you enjoyed meeting some of the locals. The professor lets out a little laugh. Ha ha ha. I have a feeling you'll get to know them quite well in time. That's probably enough for your first day, don't you think? It's quite a lot to take in. I am suddenly exhausted and grateful to be heading back to camp. exhausted just from scanning a few cats. Wuss. It's quite late by the time I've unpacked and settled myself, but I want to write my journal entry before I sleep. That's unpacked? You just threw everything everywhere? It's kind of like you just grabbed a suitcase and was all... and, like, said fuck all on everything. Surprised at how chilly it is. I have pulled my sleeping bag right up to my chin, but I still feel goose pimples bloom over my... Goose pimples? I call them goosebumps. I don't know who the hell calls it goose pimples. Shivering, I rub them to warm myself up. It makes me smile to think that this inherent reaction to the cold is what will be keeping my new feline friends warm tonight. My eyelids close, thinking of cats, and the island and the professor. The world around me drifts away as I float up into a dream. What is that? I'm not sure how long I've been asleep, but I wake with a violent jolt that leaves me sitting bolt upright. It's too dark to see anything, but I hear a rustling, and then a strange electronic noise. One that in my sleepy confusion I can't place right away. Boop, boop, boop. The catalog! Acting on instinct, I scramble to my feet and follow the noise out of the tent. I look around me and my fears are confirmed when I catch sight of a pulsing red light, getting fainter in the direction of the forest. I snap into action, running as fast as I can, barefoot, dressed in my pajamas, running at full speed into the forest in the dark of night. I must be crazy. The words of Professor Popper are ringing in my ears. I need you to protect it above all else. His voice is like ripping apart my throat because I'm trying to make him sound like an old man. Sorry. Whew. My legs are trembling beneath me. I stop, feeling my heartbeat heavy throughout my body. I wheeze in and out, my breath billowing in front of me in white puffs. I shouldn't feel like this. Why am I so dizzy? I try to get my bearings and realize I've blundered perilously close to the danger zone. Uh-oh. I can just make out the shapes of some large animals in front of me before my eyes close and I drop to my knees. I open my eyes. The calico cat I scanned yesterday is sitting in front of me. She drops the catalog at my feet. I pass out. Okay, this took a weird turn. I have to do voices for every cat now. Hello, can you hear me? Are you okay? What is it? Don't be ridiculous, Kibbles. It's a human. Oh yeah. Yuck. I can smell it now. Smells like a human. Oh, do be quiet. Are they alive? Of course it's alive. It's breathing, you imbecile. Why isn't it moving? Would you come and give them some space? Move back a bit. Yes, stand back. Move out of my way. Let me have a proper look. I begin to come to. The Sphinx cat is standing over me as I open my eyes. We stare at each other for a moment while I try to take in what's happening. Is this one defective? Oh, I feel sick. I'm gonna puke. The cats watch me intently. Am I going insane? Ouch, my head. What is it chattering about? They're scared and confused. Let me talk to them. Human? Are you alright? You! I remember you took my catalog. Oh, but I gave it back to you. It's back in your pocket now. I try to reach into my pocket and realize my hands are scratched to shreds. Ow, 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 ow. What's wrong with my hands? I'm not good at this. I try to stand. My feet, what happened to me? Yeah, I guess that's from all the climbing. I told you it wasn't ready for that. What's that? Ready for what? Its anatomical structure is far too delicate. I tried to slow it down. Yeah, Floof, you try restraining a human who's that determined. It was like Margay, its anatomical structure didn't seem that delicate to me. I was like a what? Doing what? You made your own way back to the beach. Okay, but that doesn't explain... I show my bleeding hands. Ah, you crawled, Kara. Kara? Who's Kara? That's not my name. It's a term of endearment. It's an Irish thing. Oh, he's Irish. I should have known from McMurphy. It's inappropriate. Wait, I crawled? You sure did. There we go. Like a cat? Yup. All the way from the mountains? Like a bleeding mountain lion. Impressive. But why? Because you got the sickness. Shh. Maybe you should sit down, human. We need to have a talk. Possibly a long talk. Talk? Yes, that's right. Since when can cats talk? Oh, for goodness sake, since the dawn of time, how else do you think we communicate? Ah, stop spitting whiskers, Major. You know full well what the human is saying. I think the revelation here, Kara, is that you can understand us. I like him better Irish. Yes, that too. Will someone please explain what the hell is going on here? Well, we don't fully understand everything ourselves. At least, not all the details of how this works. I think being stood in a forest surrounded by a bunch of talking cats is about as much detail as anybody would want. I agree, and more to the point, we were rather hoping you would be able to help us. You are the scientist, after all. What we do know is that the clock has started ticking for you. I went like Scottish. What do you mean? Well, there's no easy way to say this to you, Kara. You'll be catified. I'll be what? Whether you help or not, you don't have a lot of time before... if I may. It would seem, and we are basing this on our experiences to date, that when a human manages to find themselves in what I believe you call the danger zone, they are vulnerable in ways that they previously were not. That is to say, you're screwed. You're not helping. Don't make me... Whoa, Mountain Lion. There'll be no violence of any kind. Forgive me for being a bit panicked here. The vulnerability to which a snooty beauty is referring is simply put, if you are bitten or scratched by an elder cat within the danger zone, you will begin a process of which that ultimately will result in a full feline transition. Catified. So basically you're telling me I'm a werecat? I look down and in amongst the scratches on my right hand are two distinct puncture marks. The reality of my situation descends on me like a cold mist. Basically. Yes. My head is spinning. This is too much for me to take in. Take a breath now, Kara. You're not looking so good. What? Have I started to change? I feel my head, for ears, fur, everything seems to be normal. No. I just meant you're looking a bit shaky, understandably so. I take a few deep, steady breaths and calm myself enough to say, okay, so why, how, what? Give me some data on what to go so far, or what you've got so far. Look, we'll answer anything that we can, but the truth is, we have more questions than answers ourselves. So, you said you need my help. What exactly would that entail? Well, finding our friends would be a start.
The cats on this island. They're going missing. We don't know what's happening to them, but the body count is rising, and we've hit a wall.
A wall of ignorance, maybe. Really, how many times do I have to tell you? The Muellers are to blame.
Muellers? Now, Fluffy Butt, there is no need for name-calling.
Speaking of name-calling, I'll remind you to call me Major, madam.
Ah, it's a girl?
I like the voice.
Look, they can't help the way they are. It's lack of breeding, you know.
Overbreeding, if you ask me.
Again, Muellers?
Mueller.
They're the elder cats, the island originals. They can't speak the way we can, hence the derogatory term Muellers.
And how are they to blame exactly?
Well, if I knew that, there would have been no need for this elaborate kidnapping.
It's hardly proving to be a roaring success after all.
Look, Kara, all we really know is that we are no longer safe on this island. The elders who live within the danger zone are hostile towards us. Not sure why, it's just always been that way. And now, because cats are being taken, nowhere else is safe either.
I'm like blending all their voices together now.
You expect the occasional mishap. We live in an undomesticated world here, after all. But lately cats have been disappearing almost every day.
Even the last human we catified went missing.
I'm sorry, what? Let's not open old wounds, Kibbles. Yes! Onwards and upwards. Well, first things first. This werecat thing. Catification.
Transition.
Whatever. How does it work? Time passes, then you transform into a cat. Yeah. Ugh. It's a gradual process. It's different for everyone, but you won't just turn overnight. The clock is ticking, however. The first side effect of the transition is being able to understand us. Well, some of us. Not the elders, obviously. Not all the domestics either.
Then you have the whole heightened senses thing, that increased agility, the crazy body hair stuff. Let's not worry the human with all the details just yet.
I assume there's an antidote? I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed in that assumption.
Hang on. You said there was someone else who you'd put in this position. Well, let's hope you're a better bet than they were.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to discover an antidote or get our friends back.
I know where their notes are, though.
Really?
Trade.
Huh?
You help us, and I'll give you their progress reports.
So what do you say, Kara? Will you help us? Help the kitties.
Not much of a choice, really, is it?
Afraid not.
Okay, fine. So where do I start? Is there anything you can tell me that will help me track down your missing friends?
Will no one listen to sense? Start with the Muellers, and I'll eat my hat if it doesn't end there too. Don't mind him. He's set in his ways. We have every reason to believe the abductions take place in your part of the island. Yes, nowhere near the danger zone or the elders. Well, that doesn't make much sense. But I suppose nothing does around this place. My catalog starts beeping. Oh, my alarm! I have to get to work. You run along now. We don't want you arousing suspicion with your people. You can meet us later.
I'll make sure those reports are in your tent before this evening.
Thanks, Kara. You're one in a million.
I imagine the odds are far greater than that, given your new health status. Go.
And thanks from all of us.
I like them.
It's a lot of dialogue. Holy shit. After a rather painful journey, I am very grateful to finally limp into camp. I have just enough time to get myself tidied up for work, and I'm about to peel off my filthy pajamas when I hear my catalog beeping. I have a message, but I can't tell who it's from. It's not from any of the contacts that Professor Popper programmed into it. In fact, there's no contact information at all. Are you sure it is wise to trust everyone? Anyone? What on earth does that mean? Who is this? There's a lot you don't know. Think carefully about who you confide in. Before I can think of a reply, the messages are gone, and my catalog has no record of them. I don't have any time to think about this right now. I need to get ready. As soon as I'm presentable, I head over to the lab. I'm 10 minutes late. It doesn't give a good impression on my first morning. Ah, Breckless, good to see you. I was beginning to worry. Did you oversleep on your first day? I'm terribly sorry, sir. I think traveling and all the excitement of yesterday, I take punctuality very serious. He cuts across my apology. Not to worry, it's perfectly understandable. You'll find I'm quite relaxed about most things. As long as you get the work done, I don't much mind what hours you keep. Thank you, sir. So, shall we get started? My goodness, what on earth happened to you? He's looking at the scratches all over my hands. Oh, I fell and tried to save myself by grabbing onto a bush. I'm afraid I led you astray last night. Not everyone can take a double malt. How's the head this morning? I decided it's easier to play along. A little bit fuzzy, but it won't... His face. A little bit fuzzy, but it won't affect my work, sir. I really ought to drink spirits on an empty stomach. Gotta get those hands sorted out, though. They look pretty nasty to me. He goes to the tall metal cabinet in the corner and takes out a bottle and some cotton wool. He begins cleaning and tending to my hands while he talks. For today, I'd like you to help me with a few tasks around the lab to get the hang of things, but from tomorrow, I'll let you make your own choices about how you best carve up your time. Of course, you are primarily here to carry out your job as my research assistant. However, try to make the most of your time on the island. Once your work is completed, we'll be saying goodbye. This really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so don't waste it all in the lab. Naturally, I need your help around here, but I'd also like to get your hands dirty with some field work. Make sure you spend time exploring the island. It's a beautiful place, and there's a lot to see. Take the time to get to know the cats. A full understanding of their behavior is crucial to our research. There is plenty to see and do. However, you must be careful not to overwork. Take regular rest and relaxation. We don't want you to burn yourself out, now do we? I'll try to get the balance right. That's the spirit. So there you are. He's done a first-class job on my wounds, and they aren't bothering me nearly as much. Spend the rest of the day with the professor getting to know how the various pieces of equipment in the lab work, finding out where everything is, and learning some of the basic duties I will be performing routinely. By the end of the day, I am exhausted. I make my way to the tent. I'm about to flop down on my bed when I see a package poking out from underneath it. Ooh. It's the reports that Kibbles promised to deliver. The cats were right. The previous person barely made a start on producing an antidote. I'm gutted and worried. What if I can't do any better? Will I just turn into a cat? I decide that's not an option and resolve to get going on my own research into it tomorrow. My instincts tell me that the cats will be a good starting point. I have a feeling they know a lot more than they're prepared to tell me. I need to gain their trust and see if I can get them to open up a bit. I'm sure I'll make more progress if I focus on one at a time. I'm optimistic that one-to-one sharing will prove fruitful. It's a small glimmer of hope. Tonight, I'm not fit for anything. I can barely even write in my journal before I fall asleep. The first morning of waking up on the island, I'm so excited to discover what the day will bring. Should I jump straight into lab research? Or maybe it would be wise to start investigating a way to help these cats and find a cure for myself. Whew. Okay. I am going to take a break from this. It's kind of shredding my voice. There's just a lot of talking. Lots and lots of talking. I didn't know that I was going to have to narrate this, which is fine. I'm having fun with it. But I am going to end this episode here. But yeah, if you want to watch the rest of this, I'm pretty curious about what's happening here. I'm excited to talk to all the cats and learn more about them and learn more about what's happening in the story. It's definitely a lot different than what I thought it was going to be. Well, so far anyway. But it's got a really interesting story. I like it. I mean, the whole Cat Island thing's a little weird, but I'm pretty excited to see everything. And they've got kind of like an intense thing going to where if you don't get a cure in time, you know, you're gonna become a cat forever. And that's cool. And I'm kind of wondering if one of the cats I've talked to was already the last person. I'm assuming it's Trixie, which is the orange calico, mainly because they kind of focus on her more. So I'm assuming if that's the person that was turned into a cat, and or they're all turned into cats. You know, I'm calling it right now. Maybe this whole island used to be people, and that's why some of the cats can talk. And the ones that can't talk were like the first cats there, or they're aliens or something. And maybe this whole island used to be people, and that's why they're so focused on like getting help and everything like that. So maybe that's the thing. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know how long this game is, but there's definitely going to be some more episodes of it. I don't know if the episodes are going to be every day. They might be every other day, but there will be a video every day. I don't know if it's what those videos are going to be, but I'm having fun with this YouTube thing lately. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and if you made it this far, super appreciate it. And why don't you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell? It helps me out a lot, and if you hit the subscribe button, you can see the rest of this story. So thank you so much for watching and hanging out, and I will see you in the next one.